resettle the troops, get a lot of preparation in. And from the veto, it does look like they are specifically very well prepared for what paiN have to bring.
Yeah, I think what was interesting to watch about that Heroic game is that Heroic actually looked very free-flowing in their outing versus FUT. The reactions were very fast, the rotates. They actually created nice setups very often, especially when they played Overpass, and I think that really caught FUT off guard. You know, they were trying to go in for bursts and some misdirection, only to find that they've been led into a trap. Hopefully they don't fall into too many against paiN. FUT will be starting on that T side here on Mirage, and there will be a lot to answer for here for paiN. The community has them in their crosshairs. FUT looking for a good start, see if they can get more than just that one upset win here in CAC.
Two players inside jungle for paiN as they're going to be looking to mow down this connected push. Krabany's already found David Dares. Snow and NQZ need to put their minds together. It's a quick double kill coming through between the two of them, but can NQZ pick up a second all on his own? Yes, he can. Still more to do over here. NQZ's got the one bullet he needs to put them down. Lonix now covering ground to try and pull this 1v3 together. Down to 2 where NQZ swings. Digit trying to cover off this diffuse NQZ without the kit, so Lonix has to take the fight, and soon he does do so. Peeks out wide, NQZ's off the bomb, and now Lonix might have just won it all on his own.
Oh my god.
NQZ is going to have to swing soon. Time's running out. Lonix has played this perfectly. NQZ will not be able to get the defuse. What a round from Lonix.
Wait, he has a kit.
What?
Why didn't he jump on it? Oh my god. It comes down so close. I think even if he just instantly ran back to jump on it, he might have barely had enough time. He was just short on either mark, it seems. I thought Launex had done more than enough. I don't think he needed to necessarily even take that fight past CT, but works out in their favor. FUT have barely managed with a pistol win.
Yeah, that first kill that Krabany got onto the CT play must have been the kid over there. And I'm surprised in that case that they're not looking to swing out onto Lonix and actually try and get that kid back earlier on. The fact that they play oversight for the defuse, it's a surprising move.
Yeah, very, very close.
paiN in the meanwhile have been up to their force by shenanigans, and right now will be no different. Snow, however, finds good success. This was a criticism versus Fluxo in the first two maps that paiN did at times maybe give too much away in pursuit of economic damage, but if you can win a round, well, that's the best possible scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be difficulties, I'm sure, in converting it still. It's a grouped attack here from FUT. Only one that's isolated is Launex inside of middle, and he will get floored. Navadeus, good shot on the Deeg, and it's a nice 1-2 punch here at ramp. NQZ hitting that first punch, and the SMG just swinging wide. Not a single casualty here for paiN on the force buy. That's how strong that buy can be.
I mean, fantastic start to this game for NQZ so far, but I have to say that first kill from Snow is what unsettles it all. Player caught up with utility in their hands, perhaps, but Lonix just out in middle, completely dominated by Davidus. He's one of the two players who, you know, on Nuke especially, were stepping up. Davidus and Snow were having such a good time.
An understandable force buy here from FUT. Big Zera got more than he bargained for. 3 players are ready to greet him around the back of that top mid smoke. So it can be an effective crunch here from FUT. Davide is still swinging, but doesn't have backup from Snow, who's still worried about topside connector. Krabany's boosted window in the meantime, and no one's looking to pick this up whatsoever. It's a massive gap that paiN have no realization of. They should be free. Krabany has a kill towards short, but he wants to find that apps player. His teammates are grouping inside of the apartment, so Digit can be a free kill, and they're much further out than Davideus can do anything about. This might just be a save call here for paiN.
Where one force buy wins, another right around the corner.
Yeah, this was, I mean, great positioning, though.
It's all coming down from just exploitation of that empty mid side, and Really nicely done. This is something that FUT was actually trying a few times versus FaZe as well in their win over there. And it did pay off once, but after that, FaZe was very quick to address it throughout the rest of the game. That possibility was really put to bed.
Yeah, well, the early state of this game is already topsy-turvy. Back-to-back force buy wins, and convincing at that, not a single death on the team that goes in for the force buy.
Isn't that
both
the normal
rounds.
state of affairs for Counter-Strike? What do you mean?
Yeah, how dare they? Why even buy if your opponent is just going to win anyway?
Knowing paiN, they're going to be buying. And it's justified at this stage. You probably do want to commit into it with those 2 saved Galils. It's actually coming out to be a pretty good buy overall. So somehow we have managed to get 10 rifles on the server. It's not the way we thought it would be, but it's happening.
Yes, it's like going into one of those math tests, but you don't necessarily show you're working out in the right way, but you still get the right answer. Fourth round full buy.
They're just going to be fully flashed up. It's a fast play out towards B. Demon tries to scale, but David is coming in for the double. Out from Get Right, will be able to keep himself alive. He's such a threat, and Digit yet to reveal is going to be the hidden Viper. Comes in from the side, never even needed to show himself. David is 4 kills. What a hole. Must have dodged every single one of those flashes.
Yeah, beautiful positioning to have dodged those flashes, and he did exactly what he had to in terms of covering his teammate as well. That, doesn't necessarily scream that they've found sort of an anti-strat positioning wise to the FUT B side execute, but it may as well have been, with how quickly he was able to dismantle any prospect of FUT getting any control in that B site. That starting pack is the most important part of the execute. Didn't work last time with a full buy. But what if we throw in a few pistols? Looks like they might have a much better time of it with how far NQZ is off of short.
NQZ is going to have a lot of information that this isn't a mid play, though. He knows that Moses is going to be one player coming over. He's spotted out Krabby. He's given out the call. And you immediately see Davideus is asking for Bigu to rotate away as well. They're not fully buying into this, though. And the longer they wait, the more likely it is that paiN are able to find Digit isolated on this B bomb site. Flash goes out overhead. It's well placed, and Digit will be allowing them to scale up. Now gets a chance to fight, but not really putting it to use. Digit, good for 1, good for 2. That's more than you can ask for. An NQZ caught on an island. The problem is paiN have been fast to rotate. They had 3 players out in jungle. Don't forget that. So rotations will be swift. Krabany, however, now looks to activate from behind. No. He's coming in from short. Wants to pick up that AK that NQZ left behind. It'll be instrumental, but David is already out in the bomb set. They're expecting him to push. Krabany finds one with NQZ's drop gun, and he's not done with just that. Snow is left alone. 1v2. Player low on the bomb side, rather off the bomb side. And if he just takes down this planter, this round is all but over. 10 seconds left on the clock, and Snow has done it. He just needs to stay alive. Even creeps in from behind the smoke into market.
Just have to make sure that Krabany can't run him down, and yeah, he won't reveal position. Krabany's still toying with that smoke. Snow's slide out into that B site has saved paiN. Another forced by embarrassment. That is so close. FUT hit the weakened site. They get into the site itself. Bomb gets trapped at bench, so it's awkward from the jump. I mean, 3v3 where that bomb cannot go down and paiN are heavy market staring at this player bench. They have to throw the bomb over to allow an X on default. And yeah, just a little disjointed. This has not been the most well put together game from either side just yet. Early morning outing here on Mirage. But the shots have been nice. Not nice enough to catch Davideus.
Ooh. All right. Are we putting the pistols to bed now?
Yeah, must be. Gravity will still be on 1 because they had a hero rifle and...
Yeah. Attack used up by FUT as well.
When I say hero rifle, it's the one they carried over from the Snow 1v1, but yeah, he will be shortchanged.
I would like to see if FUT has something slightly slower paced coming in. So far, first contact from pretty much every single round has been within the first 20 seconds. It's also not off the back of an op getting a kill. Obviously, I think NQZ's bought the first op off the game so far now. So it would be interesting to see if FUT can diversify into a slower style of round as well over here. Or if paiN even let them.
That was how they got into that 3v3, is that they went for a very delayed B side pop. Didn't show as much presence towards top mid. I think paiN understand it. I mean, coming into this game, their scouting report would be that FUT love going for these burst execs, these pack plays. They just have to keep their wits about them. They don't get caught by these cheeky shenanigans.
Speaking of cheeky shenanigans, Abideus inside the smoke. Doesn't have that much time left on it, and he hears the man jumping up and down. It's bait. Don't know if intentional or not, but it serves as that. Crab, he's allowed Symmetry to come through with a quick kill. And they reset.
It really felt like Davideus got shortchanged there. It looked like he was asking for a flash, but nobody could really deliver it in a meaningful way.
Now, flash would have completely changed that exchange.
Of course.
Again, timing on these smokes is awkward. Window smoke has about 10 seconds left on it, so if they want to make a play up short, they have to do it soon, because Zera maybe realizing that, but Digit is going to be opening up the 3 players running through the smoke. A 1-for-1 trade leaves this B-bomb site completely empty, and that early advantage means that one more kill will force paiN into a save. Symmetry finds that.
Yeah, they're completely out of position. This has been a bit of a strange Mirage. You know, these are the types of rounds that, to be honest, if you look at the amount of players killed and the amount of presence on the map, you'd maybe think it was Inferno. Like, if you just took away your eyes and didn't see that it was Mirage. That's types
exactly
of saves,
how I love watching Counter-Strike. Take away my eyes.
just audio-only listeners. It is strange, because it's been very one-sided in the rounds that teams have won, outside of that Snow 1v2. Well, we've had, like, 5 alive, 4 alive.
Terrorists win.
It's been very convincing from it in the rounds won, and the retake efforts have kind of been absent because they're just getting completely caught off guard. Which is not to say that it's not been like a tactical game. They're obviously exploiting weaknesses. They're finding weakened bomb sites. I think FUT have actually called a couple of good rounds. Hasn't necessarily always involved them winning those rounds, but my goodness, that spam from NQZ looked like it was pretty much on the money, but Krabby to get out middle unscathed. Onyx not so lucky.
Oh dear, not lucky at all. Guys, I thought we were using HEs to blow open smokes. Why are they coming at me? Now Kraveny's been dinked as well. Everyone's low. It's like a game of limbo in here. Well, Davideus has found out exactly how low you can go. It's down to burning point, and that's not where anyone wants to be.
It's just full util damage spams. That's how all this damage has been done to either side, but FUT managing out with a kill. Gigas could take a timing here. I mean, it's a 3B reinforcement here from paiN. And you'd understand it. FUT have been leaning that way in these late rounds. This is a full gamble call here from paiN, but they're aggressing off of short to clear out to middle. So FUT are on a timer, but they won't realize it.
paiN will still only have one player to receive. It's Digit again, who somehow manages to be the solitary bomb site anchor on A and on B. He's got flashed, he's got smoked, and there's a Molotov between them. Now the real timer is going to be biguzera, and if he can activate coming in from behind, they should be expecting it at some point though, but with the nade to pop open the smoke, Symmetry ends up getting the kill on Digit, but loses the bomb in the process. Now this timer is becoming all the more important. biguzera comes in from behind, he hears a bomb being planted, but he can't prevent it from going off. Krabany now needs to fight for relevance. Coming back in from jungle, he's found his way through for this post plant to take a fight versus Snow, and Snow was never expecting him at all. Bigo left alone, although he was good on his timing, it wasn't good enough to deny. It's a split-second difference. That's what gives FUT their fourth.
Yeah, I think in hindsight, you know, Bigo will be disappointed he didn't get more from that flank. You know, he wanted to have massive impact. His team were taking all the attention away. He had a great timing to hit, but had he shot at the first player he saw and then tried to swing on the planter, it's very likely he comes away with two. They were fully distracted with the concern of CT, with jungle, with connector. There was very minimal sort of coverage there from the FUT execute that prevented additional paiN reinforcements. Yeah, Biggie will definitely be saddened. They made a good mid-round call to regress top mid and had that opportunity in the first place.
It's funny because I think in the new patch, they probably lose that round. But we'll talk about that later on. Demon goes out and Digit is received. Digit, though, only good for the one, and the B side might even be persuaded to move back and let Lonix do the dirty work. He comes in, can't find the spam. David Davis is coming out on top of that, and if Jukas tries to compensate, it's Symmetry's off that's actually finding the kill. Glock now out, they know it's close range, and David Davis inside the gray screen. He will get the better of Jukas. Symmetry still alive. David Davis is low, but not quite so low for this Glock to be deadly. He needs a double dink it, and he just can't get it done. David Davis left with 4 HP. That's more like the Mirage you want to see.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there just seemed to be a miscommunication just about how low Davideus was, because there was full commitment there from Symmetry. It's not like he couldn't have escaped. He had the bomb. He could have run away to that A-bomb site. Could have tried to make a play there instead to play out that 1v1, but he wanted the fight.
Even got the
headshot. Davideus is the one that delivers the good. Yeah, it's a bit of a miscommunication. I think Symmetry even looked down the line saying, hey, he wasn't as low as you guys claimed he was, but Symmetry making good on promises still. Getting good. An opening kill onto Davideus.
paiN's finances are very weak in this round as well. They need to get this off from NQZ to activate, who's now been mollied and flashed off the angle. While they explore A main, A is being explored by the T side.
They should anticipate something.
Snow's low though, and while he tries to put his gun away, reload something like it, it's elimination. paiN, you probably have to move back and save over here, but biguzera has thrown his weapon away.
Man, if biguzera had a kill, it's so good. Well, I needed that kill as well. May not have even had to have necessarily taken the shot. I'm not sure if Launex would clear deep into Palace that he just tucked.
Where did he throw his weapon away? He did throw his weapon, right? Or did he just drop the M4 to Snow in the first place?
I think he had I swear he had an MP9.
That's what I thought too.
Why would you even throw that away? Is my question.
Burn the ships, you know.
Terrorists win.
Out of frustration?
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah, that was actually kind of clear as day, really,
Yeah.
from Symmetry's point of view. I wasn't sure if he just spammed on a timing or what have you, but it looked actually very clear on his screen.
FUT are set up for a 7. paiN are force buying into this one, and yes, their loss bonus was bad, so the next round wasn't going to be much better. But NQZ, who has yet to really flourish with that AWP, even if he found a lot of presence early on with the rifle and the pistols, now needs to find success. Aggression in middle pays off for the CT side. 1-for-1 is good enough when you're down below, and NQZ does help things out even more so. NQZ is still available, and Palace, he just put his gun away? You've got to be joking. While Demon's dominating inside the site itself, that AWP on the ground is going to be a harsh reminder. Digit went back to recover the AK. That's going to be their only weapon. And as biguzera is being cornered in, they're not expecting him close by. Another clutch to find himself in. Oh, another clutch that he's found himself in. Symmetry, this time around, will slow it down. Digit could be anywhere.
He should put this one together, though. He heard him running in towards CT. It's a misstep there from Symmetry, but he's outside of earshot. Now as he runs into that site and plants that bomb, Digit may not be that wise that it's actually an A-side finish. Here's the beeping and turns his attention, but he might have missed the timing. Symmetry actually had a small window to cross.
He saw the
Digit's
head.
locked in. Made at the back of the bomb site, and that's going to be more than enough. Symmetry just ran down. Digit fully in control of the situation. And a 6th round here found by paiN off of another force buy.
Did they just completely lose track of where BigOzero was?
Counter-terrorists win.
Look, Digit, fantastic 1v1, right? Really nicely done. He spots at the very top of the head. He's able to zone in onto him on Firebox and everything. That's awesome. In that 2v1, how is BigOzero allowed to get a kill? They didn't even clear the trash cans. They knew there's someone who went back into CT spawn. They must have thought it's a regroup with Digit or something.
Well, it was a 2v2, and once BigOzero showed himself from spawn, he didn't reveal himself for the next 20 seconds afterwards. It's not like he couldn't have repositioned to jungle as well. But yeah, they don't even consider that he could be tucked close.
Flashes are good, and Snow takes use of them. Now peeking forward, Digit right through the smoke, and paiN want to put their feet on the throats of FUT. 7 is basically guaranteed now.
Yeah. It's going to have to be a crazy performance, really, from Jugas and Launax. I like to sing the praises of Jugas. Role player, extremities player, my kind of player. See if he can actually perform, though. He's a tall order, but one that he might be able to deliver the goods on. Bigu spotted over at the stairs. NQC covering for the wide swing, and Jugas will fall right into the trap. So it's a Launax 1v5, or it's a 7th round for paiN. It will be the latter, a pretty solid CT side with its topsy-turvy starts and even kind of a finish to that half. paiN are just going to be happy they found a bit of salvation at the end of it.
This was, however, the side that FUT was struggling on. CT side was much more free-flowing for them. And coming into this T side, we saw some good preparation coming out from them. There were some good strats, even if maybe at times some of them didn't work out towards the end. They actually got onto bomb sites, very often were able to exploit some of the weaknesses of paiN. And paiN, credit to them, Snow and Digit, well, honestly, all three of the riflers, Snow, Digit, and David Ayers are having a very good time already. So going into that second half, this should be a ripper.
Yeah, I don't think we've necessarily got any player disappearing really from either side. It's really been about how well they're reading things in the mid game. You know, these early advantages have been found from either side, but it's been these adjustments that have given teams ways back into the rounds that haven't always been realized, but have given them a real fighting chance at it. Just feel like a bit of a brainy head-to-head. You know, Krabby and Bigu are having to orchestrate their troops in the right directions.
We
Maybe
love
want
our
a bit
big
more
brain
performance out of
head-to-heads.
Demon on the entry, perhaps, but they get some chance at redemption on the CT side.
paiN are keeping things simple. FUT are ready to receive. Krabby, there won't be any flashes coming over his way. It's just going to be bodies and more bodies. He had to get that first kill faster, though. Symmetry switches out for the duel. He will be covered off by Jukas, but he's not putting his faith in it. So Snow gets a chance for a backstab. Launax, in the meanwhile, does drop the bomb. It's out on Palace, so they have to go back and recover. The grenade might do the job from beyond the grave, but Snow's done more than just that. He is a man of the living who puts you in the dead.
Yeah, I mean, a massive 4K there from Snow. Gets himself out to that A site and just continuously applies pressure, catches them running and jumping over towards top stairs, fighting the player stairs into jungle, and able to find a flurry of frags in an instant. He currently sits 17-5 here for paiN Gaming. Something is in the water here in Shanghai. Snow is empowered.
Yeah, reports from on-site say that Snow was seen putting massive bottles of water into his suitcase, saying, "I need this for the major." Demon in the back of the bomb site flashed off the angle, but the Deagle will be put to at least one, no, two. Possibilities open up. You do have an MP9 and a Farmers, but that's not what's closing the distance. Right now, it's Symmetry's Scout, which unfortunately isn't going to be given any sight lines. It's all about waiting for this post plant to see if Jugas and Longs can put anything together.
It's all about this flank from Jugas. He will have to be that first player to activate, but it's being accounted for. NQZ is holding to see if a player comes in on that flank. But as smokes fade into market, they're going to have to be divided in their attention. First contact out from Snow. He'll deal with Lao and X. There's that flank from Jugas, and the trade's very labored. In fact, Jugas doesn't wrangle that one kill, and instead is running for the high hills. He will back himself away to save this MP9. A 9th round here for paiN Gaming.
Yeah, Demon does what he can, but unfortunately, first rotation in being the Scout is always a tough time unless it's already there to try and receive as they're running through the apartments. So no force by victories coming into the second half.
Yeah.
All right.
Not yet. Don't count your chickens too quick.
They might still buy Deagles. The
Yep,
chickens,
and-
that is.
Yeah. Pretty clucking good. I really was, through my, I've had this bit of a rant at the start of the show about, were they making too much of a statement that Big Uzera gave about they can win any tournament? Yes, I would say yes. But my criticisms of paiN have actually largely been about players like Snow, maybe not realizing their potential. I was not expecting to see this level of Snow in Shanghai, not in 24-degree weather.
Oh no. Buddy, careful now. Oh no, you've just been run down. That traveling circus from the B bomb site coming back into A with the fast rotations has now just collected an AK-47. These chickens, well, they might start clucking right through these smokes. Because Zera has to be insurance strategy, but they should be expecting someone nearby. At least they are suspicious of it. Demon clearing things out with his Deagle. Will be watching out. Oh, trigger discipline is good. But because Zera can't get the kill. Jugas with 2. And where we thought a force spy was the problem, turns out the eco is the issue. NQZ even receives a dink for that kill. And he's being flanked. Launex with the 5-7 can just start squeezing the gap.
This round is done. Not a chance that NQZ clutches this. Launex can restrict, he can immediately cut him off, and he knows that.
They're playing for time.
And has communicated that there is no way that he can win this. He is going to try and save instead. You thought the Force Buy Wars were over. But they are very much alive and well. They're leaving the time. They want to kill him after it, and he will have absolutely nothing to play with.
That's perfect. Look, I know it's a very small thing, but it's one of those things that I criticize teams about, that you don't try and take advantage of the clock enough. That ruins paiN. Oh.
I think Big U's there missing his timing and not getting a single kill while playing Trigger Discipline. That may ruin paiN.
I mean, Big Azar and Ditch should both have a conversation to be had between the two of them. Like, guys, we just don't talk about this round.
Yeah, well, there will be conversations afterwards, I'm sure. It's another force buy where more than 4 players have stayed alive on the team that's forced. It's actually insane. I don't think I've seen that many instances of it happening in one map.
paiN are going bog standard over here on their force buy. They're putting 4 players inside middle and saying, guys, please peek us. I didn't go the best for them in that last round, I won't lie to you, but hey, you gotta trust the process. Sometimes.
Well, it's okay. If trends are to be believed, paiN win this round somehow. It's a good start to the contrary. Grabbing a good spam on the window smoke, and there will be a boost here from Digit to try and hound down this player on a trade. He even just walks past the smoke, doesn't wait for it to fade.
He could go into
Crabini.
CT, but while Crabini finds one kill, it's going to be Jukus who trades. Well positioned, he's there to be able to take a fight from under Palace as well, doesn't fully tuck himself in.
Here it comes, the magic of the round. Somehow, they win this round.
Somehow, they win this round. Never mind.
Yeah, well,
I thought if we
still a chance,
reiterated
yeah,
if
not
we
until Symmetry
reiterated
cuts him
enough
down.
times.
No, there's no manifestation here.
FUT did win their kind of eco round. paiN aren't going to be coming in with just quite as much, so they're obviously going to have to save much more stringently. FUT are likely going to be up to 8 after this one, and paiN, look, Snow's been having a great map and honestly a great tournament so far. I think it's a testament to the fact that Snow, individually speaking, when you're not putting him up against your Vitalities, your Mongols, your Spirits of the world, he is like an individual star player, no doubt about it. In this kind of field, he should be expected to dominate. But where is the rest of the firepower coming in from?
Yeah, I would say the same thing about Davides. I would say the same thing about Digit.
Yeah. Oh. That's a fun time. Always love a little bit of Demolition Derby, but right now for FUT, it's all about keeping these extra AKs alive, and they should be able to recover those.
Smooth enough.
Okay.
And just one away from getting themselves tied up. This will be another buy here from paiN. They'll have that AWP out for NQZ, but they'll be shortchanged on quite a bit of their utility. Won't have quite as many flashes. The smoke dropped already via Snow, so that they can throw that insta window. And Snow doesn't have to worry about utility later on. There are opportunities to fake and double pump, extinguish smokes, and set up cute plays for bursts in those bomb sites. Those flashbangs will have to be rationed.
They have to be a little bit of a one-pump jump if they're going to be going onto a bomb site directly, and it does feel like B is a target.
Well, that's how it seemed, but I think they've decided to reset since they didn't take the fast timing. Digit starting to consider the possibility of an A-side push. paiN still investigating inside of underpass just to clear things out in middle. It's a very static-looking FUT for now.
They're going to have to use a lot of utility to get back control of middle, and it's a difficult time. You don't have anyone who's going to be creeping up short. Symmetry would be watching out for that regardless. Biguzera, this entire play has been set up for him to succeed in that late round. They're going to be resetting back into B with that one smoke, 2 flashes combination. At least they've got a lot of Molotovs, so that does help with an execute, but you've got 2 players on the side, and I think they've just got a boost up for Demon as well. Demon's going to be in a very strong position. With the amount of flashes you have, you're not going to be able to move him off easily at all.
This angle was so popular in Go, but in CS2 you have to have a teammate there, so Snow just doesn't consider it. Demon taking that contact, and Crabini can take that next port of call, but it's a set of trades into the site. Symmetry dealing with the first player out, but Biguzera's flank now realized he'll find Laonex on the rotate. Symmetry has to try and make a play to disrupt, but he's trying to hunt down and hound down that player on the plant, caught inside of the smoke, and may just have to try and retreat with this AWP.
There's no pathway of retreat available to him in his mind. He goes in, switches out for the AK, he's out for the clutch, and QZ will shut it down. It gets sweaty in the end, but FUT cannot persevere. That was such a good CT side setup that they put together, but unfortunately, in a position like that, you need a multi-kill. You need at least trades, if nothing else. And even though Demon's good for that one, Crabini doesn't deliver.
Yeah, he needed his kill. I mean, when it came down to that 1-2 combo, Crabini gets the jump on that secondary player. Biguzera is staring at short from his position boosted close to window. They should have expected, I mean, maybe that there wouldn't have been anyone taking contact off of short with how aggressive FUT have been in some of those prior rounds. But yeah, with Crabini not delivering the goods, kind of pulls attention away there for Biguzera. Just getting that one kill on that flank is more than enough.
Yeah, and QZ as well, just closing it out with some good trades later on as well. Just keeping the bomb site locked out so no one can actually move in. Well positioned in that late round with the T side up. FUT are going to be kicking themselves for that one, but they have to maybe find some time to put their feet forward first. Oh, the little headbang of damage that comes through with the HE grenade. QZ's gonna have tinnitus from that concert.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be a little worried for Demon. Yeah, he swings out a little wide on that jump spot, but NQZ doesn't punish.
Symmetry still nearby on this B-bomb site, has been having a decent game himself, but he won't be challenged. paiN reroute.
Yeah, the defenses have actually been very static from FUT. You know, compare this to what paiN were doing on their CT side. They were setting up for double pushes. They were clearing elements of the map where they could. FUT are trying to rely on their actual holds on the site and just leaning an extra player or two if they can. Starting to 3A setup, but they're starting to aggress into ramp just as the execute happens.
The flashbang goes deep. Davideus is going to be able to cover this off, but Jukas is able to still find them. The second flash was much better. 3 early kills, and they've got to hide away from the Palace player where they don't realize is Biguzera's coming in from behind. That smoke, it's just a little bit late. So Bigu's able to get a kill, but at the end of the day, it's a 2v4 with 25 seconds. All 4 players on the bomb site. paiN cannot win this.
Yeah, they're locked out. I mean, these smokes are just too fresh. There's no way they can take that risk, just journeying through them in a 2 versus 4. So this will be the 9th round collection here from FUT. That static defense just gets a little bit of movement at the right time.
They're hunting once again. That clock has ticked out, and they want more. Gravity, leg shot. Biguzera will be able to protect this AWP, and the CTs have decided they want to keep 3 alive. Rule of 3, don't forget. Kind of, I mean, I like the call from FUT, I really do. I think it's great timing, and especially the fact that they accelerated when they do hear audio cues instead of being confused. That's great to see. The second player for paiN, I mean, one of these players has to be playing anti-flash. You can't both be flashed off in that spot, especially when the player who's playing anti is normally lower. He gets flashed first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Small thing.
There is a bit of aggression down towards lower, and there are 2 CTs that find themselves plastered on the wall. Trades are decent enough here for paiN, given that they didn't come in with a premium buy on every one of their players. They've now got an AWP and an AK to work off of.
Oh, this suddenly looks like a good time.
I think Snow can find himself a weapon inside of Underpass too.
Symmetry has to be careful of that aggression. Biguzera has had more than his fair share of duels lost, but it only takes the one to put them over the edge. This is a very good position for Symmetry, but he's peeking back in. That is absurd. Late into the round after having revealed position early, FUT are feeling antsy.
It's a bit much, especially with Jugas having a deep position inside of Palace. He knows that it's unlikely to be an A-side play.
Oh, it's going to end up being A-side now with Jugas' position being completely useless as well.
They're going to be hyper paranoid though about Palace, ramp, next to everything inside of this site. They're going to be heavily delayed in getting this plant down, but with that smoke, it may be embolden them just to get that bomb planted.
I think it's a safe call. Onyx is actually going back to try and scout out the op. No, maybe just worried about a lurker. paiN are all going back into connector, and that's where Onyx is. He's making so much noise about this as well. He won't be able to win the duel, and if it wasn't a safe call before, it is now. The buy for this next round is really not going to be great for FUT.
Yeah, best case scenario there was that Launex takes all the attention, finds a kill somehow, and Jugas can slide out in some way, but yeah, paiN find the best solution they can. It's another force buy where they come in with a couple of they come in with enough rifles that it's threatening, but they were certainly shortchanged on a few players. Yeah,
What is going on?
He does find good damage, but it doesn't feel that worth it. Because that would have been a rifle that they could bring forward into this round. They'll they'll have a couple of players on MP9s.
They gotta naked
Be
off.
5-7. It's alright. Symmetry don't mind.
The problem with Unity is not how you perceive about it yourself, it's how the fact that other people can actually see. Symmetry might not mind, but let's see whether the rest of FUT do.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, find yourself on the right beach and it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Oh, a pressure point now here for FUT on this Mirage. Picked by them coming into this series. And while they will be moving into a Dust2 that isn't exactly the strongest map in paiN's pool, they would very much like to have this one under their belt moving into that map. Quite a few weaknesses in this veto really for paiN, but pulling through on this Mirage with how turbulent it's been would be a sigh of relief. It's a fast play. They want to go for a fast, aggressive A split, and they're up con quicker than FUT will realize. Gravity getting that nade out of his hands. He doesn't succeed on his duel, and while Snow is turning heads, Demon is popping them. 2 quick kills. And it's Jugas that has to try and be that last remaining port of call on this A site. Symmetry catching one, just barely making his way into Sandwich. They're hyper-conscious. They're very aware that this could be a possibility. A player stuck inside of Underbalk, but they don't move far enough out to try and capitalize. It's a swarm of FUT players that moves to defend. paiN gets stuck at the ramp, and that gate is closed. FUT at double digits.
Even if Krabany doesn't get the kills over there because he gets surprised, the fact that he gets early sidelines and manages to deploy that nade makes it so much more effective for Demon on that second duel. He's able to quickly take down Devadeus. Sure, it's a headshot, but it's an M4, right? At the end of the day, Symmetry is then not expected later on, and paiN, who were hoping that this was going to be like maybe a B-side start for an Opera, there's going to be something like that, because Symmetry has gone for that now for like 3 or 4 rounds. They end up being completely disappointed. FUT, it's another lifeline off the back of these difficult buys. They are accelerating. It's out into the site early on, and Symmetry again. Right place, right time, right shot.
Yeah, he's catching them. And some of these ambitious movements, Symmetry seems to always be there.
Did Snow spot him? No. Surely not.
This will be the tried and true. Boost the window.
Swing out from Krabany. Might not expect the second nearby. Definitely doesn't expect the second nearby. Lazy clear, and Snow will take advantage of it. Deadly man inside jungle, but he's been dealt with. Equalization prospects for FUT, where paiN will be on the other end of an eco. A bomb plant over here would be great. paiN really need that as well, and that allows them to go for an eco and then actually try and fight for overtime to full buy. Big Zera with that critical kill should be able to get the bomb down, and now maybe not just a plant that they're having a conversation about, because NQZ never had to drop. Theoretically, he could be coming in for a late lurk somewhere as well. paiN has set this up a lot of times still in the 2v3. FUT are going to assume, and they have to come in. Symmetry without the weapon for the job. Jugas switches things out. Symmetry given over a Tech 9, and Big Zero with another deagle kill. Is this going to be disaster striking true? NQZ could be the hand that strikes down from apartments. An incendiary that goes too deep. He's not going to be singed. They don't realize he's nearby. Does Demon go for the clear? Yes, he does, but he can't get the kill. And now time no longer on their side. Jugas can't get it done. Even with the kill, he won't have the defuse. It is a repeat of round number 1. But this time in the favor of paiN. 12-10, a 4v2 that FUT end up losing.
That is once again one of those big Uzera moments. I mean, a straight dig into the B anchor where there's no quick rotates. They get a plant in, and even catching another one inside of market, he gets so much mileage out of that dig. That's the power that this fragging in-game leader can provide. Always feels like he's good for a round when paiN need it most. The brawn and the brains. That's a big Uzera moment.
paiN have to have one more like half buys and force buys and equals than they have gun rounds at this point.
Well, I think I've counted 4. and they've won 12 rounds. So I'm not
Okay.
entirely sure that
Gotta
that's
keep in mind the
accurate.
pistols and the anti-forces as well.
Yeah. I mean, it has implications. That's true, but
Goes both ways too, to be fair. 4v2
hell of a trend.
anti-force.
yeah, it's gonna hurt there for FUT.
On their own map pick, no less. paiN, time to make it simple. Three
Oh,
players
dear.
out in Palace. Big Azera up in jungle. And he is ready to rumble in the jungle. It is 2 down for Big Azera. His earlier transgressions forgotten, while Symmetry's scout will be only just that, a scout. He's not got any menace to him. He's not a deadly man at all. Demon's the one who has to take up that mantle, and with the flames that are crossing over with bullets peppering him down, Symmetry is still an inch away from death, and Launex is the one who's closing that inch. FUT are finding a foothold back into this bomb site. The T side are being wrecked up. And with Demon revealing position, looking to try and dissuade Big Azera for going for more. Now with only 13 HP, bumping booties inside the smoke. Demon worried about that crossover, but he's the one who's going to get the ankle breaker in the end. Demon with 2 still brings it back.
You cannot be serious. From a paiN 2 versus 4 on the 4 spy to a FUT 3-on-5 where they have no idea. They had 0 clue about Big Azera's timing to window. He hit the perfect window to catch them off guard. And still somehow FUT are still alive here on Mirage. There is no way. I think there's been 7, maybe even, it might be the 8th 4 spy that we've seen succeed here on Mirage.
FaZe fans, you think you've got roller coasters? No. paiN and FUT fans, these guys have roller coasters.
I can't believe that these teams are letting these rounds fall so far out of favor. How do you fumble a 5-on-3 like that?
The same way you fumble a 4-on-2.
But they were set up for an A execute. This is different to the 2-on-4 because CTs are spread. On a T side, they were all together. I don't know.
paiN, they've had enough. It's time for ye old fashioned, a quick little B pop through, but this time it's not Demon to receive it. It's Gravity and Launex, and they are fighting for OT. No, they are buying OT with their souls. That's what it costs to win an anti-force these days in this map. The devil has made a good deal, and honestly, FUT might be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, after they lost that last round, you could kind of feel this one coming. I mean, this is the least equipped that paiN could possibly be for this 4 spy. Went in with pistols and tried to burst that B bomb site, but it has to be the big B in paiN to try and keep them away from overtime. Oh, he's taking the long route. I don't even know if you could win like this. 50 seconds on that clock. An around the world journey. Yeah, I think he realizes this route is far from ideal. He's now heard by Launex, and that will be a simple enough kill. A 3-piece for Launex at the end of the half as we move into overtime. More than 24 rounds of play here on Mirage. Are you not entertained?
I have only one question, Michael. The overtime comes with a problem. We're not going to have 4 spies anymore, Michael. Who's going to win now?
Honestly, I'm kind of pleased.
Who's going to win now that we can't have 4 spies, Michael?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Guys, I need their triple off setups in the first round so you can win the 2 after that, okay, guys? Ooh. So many chances for both these teams, and as they take this 60 seconds, it's going to be a brief moment of contemplation. They can't get caught up in the past, though. They have to be moving forward and planning for what's next.
Yeah, let's be clear. Neither team is going to be that happy or satisfied about what's just happened. FUT may be feeling a little bit more positive than paiN, given that they are somehow still alive when they probably should have lost. But everyone's going to have regrets looking at this Mirage. It's been a bit of a fiesta. That's what happens when you tear your ACL. You get a bit of foot pain. First OT, and no more force buys to look at. Unless they start buying double warps each and every round.
Symmetry. Oh no, he puts his AWP away instead of firing it. Maybe a couple of the jitters creeping in. Amadeus tagged up a little bit by that HE grenade. Let's see if that's significant later on in the round. Digit has been in a position where he's tried to get aggressive from Palace a few times over. Now that he knows that the AWP isn't going to be on CT, he does think about it, but for now, Lunex somehow managed to dodge the nade and the Molotov damage. He is going to be completely undetected.
It's not exactly an unconventional spot, but we'll have to be face-checked by paiN, especially with them not using that Molotov as a timing. They will have to re-clear it.
A lot of utility that looks like it's right on point, being just slightly missed. Because I received 3 grenades in and around him and only lost 4 HP.
I get a change of tone here from paiN though. Very slow tempo and only revealing in those last 30 seconds. With 20 left on that clock, they're going to start to finally make their move.
It's a good timing with the incendiary. They're going to have to go through it, and Lunex has never moved away from that one spot where he found safety. Again, a Molotov that just doesn't spread to him. They're not going to be checking this. No way in hell. And Lunex might be in hell. Still fighting out from the confines of the Trident behind him. It is Lunex, Gravity, and Symmetry to come through. The immovable object fights back.
Yeah, I mean, good on Lunex for sticking true to his position. I mean, if he decided to fall off of it, he would have almost certainly made noise, and that could have certainly helped the paiN Gaming side realize what the setup was likely to be. But, you know, I was praising them for the fact that they took a slower tempo, given that we'd seen a lot of these sort of earlier bursts onto the sites, earlier splits, and they're just trying to change the execute timing. I'm fine with that, but leaving yourself only 20 seconds, you know, surely you should be going at that 35, 30-second mark. Give yourself that extra leeway, because once Lunex gets the kill onto Snow and the bomb as a result, it's just a total scramble. They have, what, 3 seconds of leeway to transition into the site with them picking up that bomb. It just kind of falls apart at the seams. You know, you wait a minute and 20 seconds, a minute and 30 seconds before moving into a site. I'm expecting a bit of urgency.
Amadeus between so many angles, and he can't find what he finds a kill. Crab, and he still gets it done, but that's insane.
He's getting split from 3 angles.
Demon is now feeling a little bit lonely. He's asked for company to come over. Crabany quick to supply the cure for male loneliness, but will it matter on the bomb side? Digit can still take him down. Snow as well. Critical kills as paiN go back to the earlier styles of play. Faster executes, quick overruns, and success on the B-bomb site. How does he live there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he's avoided this spam, just like he did in round 23 as well. When he used that ticket, he should have been a dead man walking, and he still may be. Bigu not really looking for his angle, but as he clears into jungle, finally spots him, and now the chances of saving this AWP should be next to 0. It shouldn't matter anyway. FUT can afford up that AWP into the last round of OT, at least for this half.
Terrorists win.
It's about sending a message.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's basically 0 value.
23 and 15 for Symmetry, though. He has had a game. Between him and Lunex, so many important moments, especially where they've been able to activate. Everyone's got their numbers on the FUT side, but it does feel like these two have come alive in some really critical places.
Yeah. paiN clearly changing as well their tempo into this overtime. They've started with a very slow round in that first round of overtime. This time, very, very up-tempo, even faster than what we saw in regulation, really. They never went for this immediate assault, aside from one time on that A-bomb site. Next hitting shop very rapidly, and to be honest, by his teammate.
Yeah, I was wondering how he got...
That was
Domed.
Yeah, I thought he got tapped by a player in window, and then I realized it wasn't someone window. He got shot in the back of the head, so 30 damage off. Give that one to paiN for free, but Symmetry just, again, finding opening kills.
Did Digit just try and creep out onto him? Digit gets caught.
Yeah.
Every time Digit tries to get aggressive on this A side, it's funny because Symmetry's always the one who takes him down as well. He just doesn't feel like he can catch a break.
Yeah, Digit, one of those players that, you know, for a lot of his tenure on 9Z and even his foray into paiN, has made his style kind of getting unconventional frags, taking risks and capitalizing on timings, but that has just not been the case in this game against FUT.
Oh my god, Krabny could be in the perfect position. These util pieces are going to sail past him. He goes out for the initial kill. Davideus is the only one he really wants though, because he knows he has to reinforce the B bomb site. Every time Davideus has been on short, it's felt like paiN's been going for a B side hit. This time it's very similar because Zera again planting himself behind, but that makes it a 2 versus 1 now on the bomb site. Snow is down because Zera expected and FUT have the cleanest gun round win we've probably had all game long.
Yeah, I mean, really nicely put together. Once again, catching Digit, hunting for a kill out from ramp, and then just picking it to pieces. You know, Kraviny's play inside of that short smoke is a bit ambitious, but he hears that HE being pinned and just starts walking through it as they're setting up utility. It wasn't just that a player was priming that HE. There was another one setting up a flash at the exact same timing. So, yeah, Kraviny, really nice heads-up play. It just seems like there's these small things that have been really been stacking up for FUT throughout this first map in the series.
That's so ambitious, actually. Again, Symmetry's been a very mobile operator. You know, often started off on the B bomb side. We've seen him getting aggressive into underpass. We've seen him actually starting off in window with a couple of kills there as well. It makes sense, right? But
Yeah.
when it doesn't work, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, he's been at that A bomb site to catch that play in the few rounds that Digit has tried it, actually. So, weirdly, him and Digit might be on the same wavelength. I need to change frequency, though. Moving into the second half of this first OT. FUT back onto the T side. It's been 15 rounds since we last saw them on the attack. Jeez, don't quite sail deep enough for paiN to find any free damage. A far more aggressive setup than we really ever saw from FUT. They're playing for a ramp, flash deep, that will be heard. Chugas can relay that. It's likely a compromised position. FUT won't go back to clear it. It's early enough in the round that some teams would decide that they want to reapply that pressure. But they're content with mid-control and just having Jugas as this late lurk.
The fight for control over jungle has been a very critical part of both of these teams' T sides, right? For Krabany and Bigazera, getting into that window has been a critical portion of their plans, but right now it is in from the side, not from the window. Snow is already been dealt with. Jugas finds him and pushes NQZ back with a Molotov that allows Demon to have a favorable duel. A quick headshot is the reward that his teammates will get for setting him up like that. FUT should find game point over here.
I mean, it's such a key opening duel into that site. Jugas breaking it out from Palace, and then suddenly the setup that paiN went for just kind of breaks down so rapidly. NQZ's left in an awkward position, and no one could quite react fast enough there for paiN. All that information they got that the A ramp was clear, they still had to worry about that A bomb site via connector. The Hound down from Demon. A second kill. While Biguzera can keep his hands on his M4, FUT are 1 round shy of closing their map pick.
I didn't even realize that was inside the bomb site. Okay.
I mean, holding on to Ram Palace
Yeah.
as an AWPer, juggling your attention is far from ideal. This is what I mean about FUT. They're such an explosive team, very pack-oriented. They love grouping up together and going for these plays. Symmetry hunting for a kill into Palace, but they actually thought about journeying the smoke. It just gets spammed, so they get ground to a halt.
That's a good response, though, coming out from paiN. They've done a lot of damage with that. Symmetry and Demon are both down to about half HP across the two of them.
But it dragged attention away from other areas of the map. Middle wasn't something that was occupied by paiN because of all the steps they heard towards Pals. They knew it was a fast adaptation, so paiN at some point may have to re-clear mid. So quite a deep swing from Davideus off of short. Just as the mid util comes out from FUT, paiN have vacated this area. Team's poised for a B-side split.
Ooh, that's a good kill out on the Larnax, but Kraben is quick to respond. The B bomb site is completely isolated. Any sort of support is so far away, and Davideus can't find a kill. By the time Snow gets here, the bomb's already going to be in position to be planted. All that Snow can look to do is try and find its defenders early, but with an HE forcing him forward, Judas doesn't even take out the package. Symmetry puts them down, and FUT overrun that B bomb site. It is a long-labored Mirage full of force by wins and heartbreaks. But at the end of it all, FUT come out on top of their own map pick.
Yeah, back-to-back times, the two maps that they've won here at CAC have been on Mirage, first dealing with FaZe and now finding a win over paiN, which puts pressure moving deeper. Yeah, and the problem for this paiN side is going to be that, you know, Snow has been doing great, sure, but you need better contributions from Davideus, who actually had a decent start to the tournament, but did not put up an impressive Mirage. You need to see better production out of Digit, who is supposed to be a firepower upgrade, another weapon that they can use on T-sides to lurk on good timings and find crazy ways back into rounds. We just haven't seen that really come to fruition here for paiN, whereas FUT seem like they have a number of these different weapons that are active at many different points in the game, have a lot of answers to be delivered to questions about this paiN Gaming roster here on the second map. It's Dust2, but Demon's already getting off to a hot start over at Long. It's just headshots galore for Demon. A 4K in this pistol. They put this round to bed real quick.
Well, that might have been one of the fastest rounds we've had at this tournament so far. If that's going to be any indication of how Dust2 is going to look, I'm scared already. Demon didn't have the best Mirage. At times we saw him out on the B bomb side when he was trying to play anchor, not being able to find his critical kill. Biguzera obviously got that big Deagle kill over him, leading that 2v4 as well. There were places where Demon wasn't necessarily at its best, but he always did come through with a few moments of impact. If he can start his hand off with a hot start, that would be big. But what's even better is that the forest by wars might not be over.
Yeah, they may carry over into the second map. It's a nice opening kill there from NQZ. Catching a bit of a lazy spot check there from the FUT side. I don't think either of them really saw that they were boosted up with that scout. So Symmetry is a sitting duck. And so man advantage. Maybe these techs can break into B. That's where the smokes are currently lined up for, but paiN are reconsidering. It's a mid B smoke.
Modified call for Biguzera to be out to make a move. Remember what I said before, Biguzera, if he wants to put himself in the middle of the map to try and go for these late round moves, Dust2 can be conducive. This round is going to come down to purely Jukas for the side of FUT. They are not going to be giving him any support whatsoever. He's got the right weapon for it, but he's caught on the reload. Still 14 bullets in that magazine, and he's only been able to get one kill. That feels like a mistake. Timing working out terribly for them, and as FUT try and break through that smoke, they lose two in the process.
Yeah, I mean, the call and the timing really was near perfect there from paiN. The amount of production you get out of Biguzera's position is obviously great, but the hit happening just as Jugas is at the back of the site reloading. There's a player that basically runs right past him. He is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He was, to be honest, the fact that he even got away with 1 kill given the way the round starts is a little commendable there from Jugas, but yeah, everything was off about the initial hold. It's a good call from paiN, and that force buy will find immediate success. Oh, Snow really wanted that M4, and it got blown away via the bomb deeper into the doors. So it will just be a scout that will likely be given back over to NQZ.
You got a very critical kill in the last round with that as well, so hey, you know what? It's fine. This kill is sort of what allows that entire play to be set up, right? Otherwise, that could have just ended up being a call to rush out towards a B bomb site and the like, so yeah. Nicely done. FUT are going to be hard-pressed to repeat their success from earlier on. Krabany does now drop a Thamas out towards Jugas. Biguzera will lead past the smoke initially.
Push onto B. Digit will spot it. Not any real damage being exchanged. But a spot check from both. Neither will look to press that issue. It'll be over towards long that FUT tried to challenge the other extreme. No flash setup though, so it's just a face check there from Demon. He was tagged up earlier on and simply finished off by NQZ's scout. Third time's a charm. Over on short, they look to aggress, and they will succeed on one. Nate doesn't finish the job onto Davideus, but Symmetry's come in through middle, and he's caught that secondary player off of Cat. They have access to the bomb 50 seconds, and Biguzera will have to get his hands right back on it, but there's a smoke that's down that could allow him just enough space.
He doesn't want to risk it.
Yeah, there's so many smokes, actually.
He does go back and recover an incendiary from the CT side of it, though. Now, Lonix isn't standing still. He's completely changed up his position and he won't have been heard. Now, how long can he maintain patience? There's 20 seconds left. He's really trying to accelerate. They still haven't heard him. And now the call's been made. Symmetry finds Biguzera. This round is over. NQZ is surely never going to expect Lonix to be here. He even thinks this is clear. NQZ thinks Lonix is playing time. He's going to have to pull out the bomb. And you're right, he won't have it. So in a lot of ways, Lonix is playing time. My God, now he hears the footsteps, now he hears what's coming in for him. It's after time where he barely protects his life. It is right back to the force by wars.
How does it keep on happening? How does this break down? I mean, a full man advantage. They keep getting caught trying to re-aggress. They try B, doesn't work. They try long, doesn't work. They lose a member. And it's on short that they finally find their stop. paiN are being pressured on each and every one of these avenues to sites. And they finally break down. I thought Mirage was the anomaly, but I guess this is just what we are dealing with in this series.
I'm ready. Give me another triple overtime.
Just as many force buy rounds as gun rounds.
It's a much faster play from paiN. They're hoping that speed will be what assists him, and indeed it has. Digit runs over Symmetry, but Krabany inside a smoke of his own deployment. Demon doing the same. They are trying to find solace in a retake, but it's not going to be easy. 3 players coming up short, and the T's have got just as many. It's Demon inside the smoke out on long, who has to be dealt with. NQZ is ready. The smoke is going to start to fade soon, and Demon tries to beat past it, just gets his head taken clean off. T's are in a great position. Nothing that FUT can do about it when Demon can't find a kill.
Yep, there we go again. This time it's, I mean, there's a lot of rifles being engaged there from paiN, being in that position. Even with them losing that previous force buy, they had quite a lot of reserve cash still built over. And so they answer back with their own force buy. It's back and forth. Tactical timeout here from paiN. See if they can find some stability. Guys, we can't let it happen to us again. And FUT's economy is just in a place where you kind of have to force. I mean, single stage loss bonus. Just nothing in reserve.
I appreciate that paiN called attack for this one.
Yeah, somebody had to at some point. Because it almost feels mental. You know, when paiN have stuck with simplified calls, when FUT have been more proactive, both these teams have found a lot of success playing a bit more laissez-faire when they've been on the force buy. They're taking more risks and they're being rewarded to an exorbitant, you know, degree. The ratio of success is staggering in this series. So they may just have to simplify.
Demon gets aggressive out and long, and he really wants this fight. He somehow wins it, takes the AK, and he's out of there like a demon in the night.
NQZ just saw his teammate die, and a rifle get whisked away, and he couldn't do a damn thing to stop it.
They've left Snow in a compromised position as well. B bomb site is reinforced. To smoke out into mid will make this difficult for Bigozera to make a play. The only good thing that paiN have going for them is that Demon isn't real. You're kidding
There's
me!
no way. There's no way.
This
man.
is an absolute joke, Jugas!
This is absurd.
A drive-by! And Krabany is now somehow exchanging booty calls with Bigozera.
He actually hit great timing. But look at this. Just as he's taking attention, Demon starts getting aggressive from long, and he has the perfect flank on 1 kill. There's at least a trade right back. Bigozera spinning round, but a 2-on-5, essentially, that paiN are going to have to recover.
There's 30 seconds left.
The good news is that these players don't have rifles at the minimum.
Yeah, but they don't know how many players are in B.
Yeah, Symmetry can also pick up a rifle inside of the tunnels.
That's exactly what he's going to end up doing. Picks up the M4, comes back over, making noise. Time's not on the side of paiN. Bomb is on the ground, and so are their hopes. You called a tactical timeout for this paiN. Call another one.
That's so unreasonable. Why is it that every single time they make one of these ambitious plays, these built maneuvers, they find immediate success, but then we get into a gun round where they're against the force buy, everyone loses their minds. That was a tailored play there for FUT. They threw flashes over so that they could enable that demon push, but just to find that immediate success, a completely isolated duel is unreasonable. And it happened on both sides of the map. You know, the second one was more outrageous than the first. This is not a normal game of Counter-Strike.
It's the best game of Counter-Strike. That's what it is. Remember, guys, you're in Asia now, the land of the force buys. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in Shanghai, you know what to do.
Yeah, this is beginning to get a little silly. It already was on Mirage, but I thought normality would be restored here on Dust2. You haven't had a single consecutive round win so far this map.
Is this a demo you don't revisit, or is this a demo you revisit a million times? There's no in between.
I think you simply skim through the demo and go, this was this person's fault this round, and then this was this person's fault this round. You know, I don't think either team has done a fantastic job of playing against the anti-force buy. Let's, you know, I'll be clear about that. You know, none of them are taking necessarily the safest approaches to their map control on the default when they've been up against force buys. But yeah, you'd think that you'd kind of stumble into a good anti-force.
Doesn't feel like we're ready to start again.
Yeah, nobody's ready. They're gonna round reset. Or this might even be more unusual than the game we've seen already. So, still be 3-2. paiN are very likely to move in with a force buy in this following round. I have to say, you know, I had very limited expectations. I've been tracking the ex-Navi junior core for quite some time, ever since they left the organization. The fact that they even were kind of released and allowed to play freely without the org support was quite nice to see, just because they were high enough in the rankings that they were getting invites to things. And they've been going through a bit of a turbulent time. I had very low expectations. You know, the filling of the Mikaze-sized hole inside of the roster was something that wasn't an easy fix. And them finding their way into Laon X has seemed to be, you know, if nothing else, you know, not necessarily the same fragging output as Mikaze was on the roster, but at least it's provided enough stability that other pieces have started to shine.
I think what I was particularly...
An Easter egg.
I didn't actually know that was there.
Yeah, me either.
Shout out to Luxar, who apparently knows all the Easter eggs. Alright, Cinematic Observer, and we are watching absolute cinema. It's like Fast and the Furious out here. I just need them to start chanting family.
Yeah, and somehow the car ends up in space.
paiN are now on the favored by, statistically speaking. But if we're talking Counter-Strike language, that's not really the case. It's been giggles. It's been a lot of brouhahas, with maybe focus on the ha-has. But this is fighting for elimination. Let's not forget that. This is very much wits on end for paiN. FUT...
I mean, if this ends up in a back-and-forth game where FUT can barely manage out, they won't care. They're already a map really good.
That's the thing. FUT doesn't care. FUT's not expected to win this. FUT's not expected to get out any of these big upset wins. They've already done well taking one big head. They smell blood in the water. Good timing on that incendiary. That's going to be forcing back paiN. But FUT do have two players pretty aggressively out towards long. Symmetry being forced to play passively because of it. You could see paiN scaling up, and Big Azera with a flashbang in. Snow will drop down as well. But Jugas with a peek out from window will be good for a kill. Peeks out for more. Now knows there's two players here. An incendiary down to try and interrupt. This is going to be Demon to activate late in the round, but the squeeze is coming. It is coming around the necks of paiN, and 5 alive as FUT will stop this madness with 2 in a row, breaking paiN's economy as they do so.
Yeah, I mean, finally someone's able to get consecutive rounds, and in a very convincing manner, even with Jugas being trapped outside of those B doors, he's able to get support from those players over at A that no one's able to trade on that paiN side. Went for a very ambitious split with short pressure as they were coming out towards CT and past that mid-B setup. Must be an investment into a scout here for NQZ. Hopes to be a crowbar into bomb sites, but the likeliness of them pulling through on rounds like this is very low. It's become a very popular buy, one that I'm actually kind of happy to see, but it does limit your abilities to buy up, you know, the premium zoom banger.
Gravity. Incendiary to interrupt. And yeah, just to pick up on what you're saying, we're not going to have an ult for NQZ until round number 9, theoretically. Even if they win this one.
Yeah.
Very different level of priority to be putting on your opper. And I don't know if NQZ's opting into this himself. It's certainly a possibility. I mean, we've seen that before.
It's also not usually the AWPer that necessarily buys it. We see quite a few in-game leaders buy it up for their teammates. Of course, they were only on second stage loss bonus, so, I mean, that option would have meant that Big Azera would have 0 armor and a Glock, and, you know, maybe that's not that ideal. This is still far more damage.
Because suddenly this is going to be a question mark.
Wait, no way!
Because they have let it all go. It is not the scout that has been the crowbar. It is instead the Glocks that have managed to be used as leverage, but Jugas does not care about Archimedes over here. David is trying to ferry over the M4 to the healthy player. Big Azera without Kevlar will never have an advantage, but maybe David is can pick up The Slack get the jump, bring Jukas low, bomb is spotted for Bigu. Jukas has everything to do, a jumping shot that finds him one. Kit now recovered as well, will try and go for the defuse, needs to hit the instant headshot, and Bigu is playing it smart, he is playing it slow, but Jukas still gets it done. He has saved them with an impossible shot, 5 for FUT.
An instant headshot. A bullet out the chamber, and Bigu Zera's head is a magnet. Jugas, they should have lost this round. They were losing to Glocks and a Scout. I didn't think it was even possible. Once Demon dies there on ramp, I think this round is done, but the instant reaction, the good read, and an impossibly sharp shot.
Oof,
that is devastating for paiN. They almost got given a gift.
He does somehow have the lead, was dropped over to him, picks up the kill in trade, but Launex is going to be the one who actually tilts the scales. Jukas left alone on this B bomb side, and the CTs are incredibly worried about that. This is going to be a move to save or the stack. Now, if Demon gets an early kill on the Digit, that could make a difference, but he has revealed position inside the incendiary. Digit didn't hear it though. And now suddenly reinforcing through short becomes a possibility. Jukas will be able to cover off the cross as well. If they make a mistake in trying to ferry the bomb over, maybe he can get a kill. Smoke now down for either side. HE is good, but Jukas is somehow gotten a kill through the smoke. Picks up the head. Now, might be low in HP, but Davideus is on the ground and NQZ is left alone. 1 versus 1. Jukas called to clutch one more time. With the AWP on the other side, his HP doesn't really matter, but with the bomb on the ground, NQZ might be forced to go back in for that. He's second guessing himself as he does do so. Jukas is trying to cover it off. Jukas is crouched down below. NQZ is even thinking about going back over to the B bomb site. Jukas realizes this is a possibility. NQZ is covering it off. He is going for the slowest crawl possible. Always worried.
NQZ's made the right read. I mean, Jugas had to keep his attention raised given that smoke faded, but he hears steps on the retreat up that B ramp, so he will be hot on the heels of NQZ.
He's got a smoke, he's got a kit, but he has to land another fantastic shot. NQZ doesn't see Jukas. Jukas managed to evade capture. Remember, he could have gone up short into tunnels instead. NQZ rounds the corner, will not find him. The timing has evaded both of them. Somehow Jukas thinks this is going to be a tunnels play. Goes back in, checks for it. It's another head on the ground, another clutch, another FUT round.
There's absolutely no way. As if it comes down to a late round clutch, NQZ has the perfect reposition. He reads it well. And he falls short at that final mark. Just lost the timing. Thought he had hit it perfectly, that Jugas would have no idea. But all Jugas heard from his position on short was a single step up that B ramp. And he pulls off another great clutch.
It's the exact same reaction from Launex as he did in the previous round. The transition from loss to jubilation.
Yeah. paiN may have hell to reckon with. Big statements made by Bigu Zera that I can try and defend. But if they lose to a team this far down the rankings, one that is only looking to garner experience, one that is only looking to ride the high of the travel that the VRS calendar can provide, that an opportunity like CAC can give them, if you don't even threaten to make it into the playoffs, there will be comments. There will be many.
I mean, especially when it comes off the back of having declined invites to other tournaments like, you know, your EPLs of the world.
I think Bigu actually put a statement out saying that that's not true, so I'm not sure. But they haven't been in attendance of all the tournaments that theoretically their VRS level would give them access to. They haven't put on the most amount of official games to their register.
Let's not forget though, Michael. This is the deadliest round in Counter-Strike, apparently, for the two of these teams. FUT have managed to evade capture, but by very slim margins. In these past few, they can very quickly bring it right back in.
Can make a new law about force buys. Call it the Achilles law. With FUT and paiN, yeah, there is a lot of difficulties against these force buys. This mid to B split is looking to be planned, and immediately Big Uzera taking that close range duel. The flash is well timed, but it catches Demon, and they need to put up a stop. Finally, Trace coming out into this B site. Demon trying his best to keep hold, but he doesn't have the bullets to keep contending. 10 seconds, they need to punch in these digits, and Demon will look to pressure, but Davideus a good hold. 2-on-2. And it's Symmetry to lead the way. The nade could chase down this kill, and he will succeed. It's Snow that's trapped in the site, and Symmetry will simply run him down. No problems dealing with this force. 2 alive, and a 7th round for FUT.
That's actually one of the best looking rounds we've seen just in terms of execution at every level, right? Because FUT start off with 3 players out towards the B-bomb side. They've seen that paiN has been leading there quite a few times by trying to use Big Uzera as a lever to be able to get into the B-bomb side. But because Demon's a player who makes first contact, paiN are still doing full due diligence about checking out for 2 players in B regardless. Demon doesn't normally start out on that B bomb site, so paiN, even after they get that second kill and they've obviously got information on first contact, they still clear out car really effectively done. Afterwards, David has great defense coming out, dodging flashes, getting kills, but then the util from FUT that was remaining being put to great use. I mean, yeah, that's just great.
So on point. Perfect positioning on the HE and the incendiary.
Oh, Snow dodges bullets. Rather, Symmetry dodges bullets. Snow is missing them. Oh, not that one though. That is beautiful. Just barely caught a glimpse of Symmetry. He's able to put it to use before the flash kicks in. The HE at his feet is a problem, but Demon is the real problem. Picks up 2 instant kills with the A4. A throwback to times gone by. And Counter-Strike was still good, great, and gory.
He's still hunting.
He's still going in. Their backs turn. Demon finds 4. 16 and 7. It is Demon and Jugas who have taken this game by storm. And paiN right now are caught without an umbrella out in the open winds of FUT. Crabany comes in from behind. It is backstabs on backstabs, and this one might be more literal. Crabany hopes to take a knife to the neck of paiN. Davideus to be the recipient. It is 8, and their mental has got to be broken at this point. paiN cannot find a way into these rounds.
Crabany thought about all the upsides. He didn't think about a single negative. The simple bursts there from Demon, the perfect play past the smoke, and then a precision incision from the in-game leader. They are in the heads. They are hurting heads. And paiN may have their heads in hands after this series. FUT are in full control.
Second tactical timeout coming through from paiN. I don't know what you say.
It's a total breakdown. They have not been able to muster stability. They haven't been reliable against the anti-force buy. They haven't been reliable in their gun rounds. They haven't got reliability really anywhere. Best we've seen this tournament has been Snow, and he can't be the only piece that you can utilize. Demon is just too damn sharp. It's 3 kills from lower, and he just keeps on swinging. It's back-to-back 4Ks, a 20 bomb in the first half, and there's still more rounds to play. There is simply nothing. Not a single hope down the stretch. No light at the end of this tunnel.
There is no beating FUT right now. paiN have had a saving grace. They have had a massive light on them all across the tournament, shined by Snow. He's been untouchable in most of the maps they've played. When finally we are seeing him falter, we see what paiN is left behind with absolutely nothing. And FUT just keep on finding new weapons to add to their arsenal. Last round of the half, last chance of ahead, find respectability, and it starts with an NQZ 6 feet under.
That's only Loudex's second kill of this half so far. His teammates doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But he finds an opener, one that will put paiN on the back foot, leg shot hit by Symmetry 2.
Krabany all in the meanwhile is waiting for Davideus to make a move. That exchange is going to be crucial. Davideus eventually has to activate. Krabany ends up going in. FUT feeling antsy. Does come over. The man of the hour has now had his time come to an end. paiN, great place for this round to transpire, especially with Launex as the only A-side defender. All they can hope is that Bigozera stays alive. This becomes a 2v3 far too quickly. Two smokes have been used at the same time to try and go for that cross. It won't matter all the most, but Symmetry will be able to put himself in a good position to catch out on anyone who's jumping up. Snow, wary of that possibility, reads into it, finishes it off, and it's all Jugas, the man of many clutches. Can he make it? He almost does! He almost does! You could see it in your mind's eye, but Snow is not done with this map just quite yet.
Oh my goodness, I thought they'd let Jugas clutch again. He had already 2 within that half. If it wasn't Demon and the rest of the group breaking through in the early round, it was Jugas to close out late. But there is going to be 3 rounds at the very least here for paiN coming out of that first half. That 9Z combo in DGT and Davideus finally find an in. But they had to rely on Snow to pull through when it looked at its most dire. A very positive half for FUT. They may not have been able to convert on every single bout of heroics, but a 9-3 half, they will be more than pleased.
paiN still feel like they need a little bit more before they can start to feel the blood really in their veins again. A pistol round win is, it's just necessary. And considering that this game started off with this back and forth affair between 4 spies, no team able to string 2 in a row, well, FUT comes through and they got more than that together. It's a straightforward call. They're keeping it simple. It's a B-side hit, it's a Glock parade, and it's going to be coming through the Molotov and flashes to help, but Snow is ready. Digit's actually the one who gets the kill. Snow doesn't even pick up a single one. Bigozera down. The overrun of this B-bombs that has already happened, and reinforcements might be here, but look at what they're going up against. It is an army. And the Europeans, they're still giving out possibilities, but it's all to enable Launex coming in from behind. He will catch a timing, he will catch NQZ, and Davideus is now caught in an indefensible position. Launex doubles up his skills and puts FUT in a winning position, 10-3 on this D side.
Yeah, I mean, a 3B setup where they only really come away with a singular opening kill as they come out of the tunnels. Sure, NQZ is able to clamber one back just as that bomb goes down, but at that point, they're already at a deficit. You're expecting far more out of your initial hold. But that may be the story of paiN so far in this series. You might expect more, but you ain't getting more. 3 more rounds, and FUT will move past and finish off a full best of 3 against a massive favorite.
Good kill to start things off for Symmetry as well. On top of it all, Bigozera is already down. These 5 players out and long can now look to even reset, leave Symmetry behind on an island that he'll sure struggle defending. But I'm not sure if they're ready to give this up yet.
It's a good kill back.
QZ?
Yeah, finishing off the job onto Symmetry. So it's back to a 4-on-4. That smoke down will still obscure some information here for paiN on the defense, but it's a 2-2 split. Unless there's any real pressure put towards that middle section on this B hold. Snow has a smoke that can block.
Out of shoulder. That's all he needs. We'll start spamming that thing. Davideus is the one with the real threat, though. The double kill with the MP9 gives them another chance of a paiN. It is exactly how the first half started. Best round lost, but a forced by a win immediately after. Gravity will not be able to take the Galil out of the hands of Davideus either, so the spoils of war are looking nice and valuable.
Yeah, really nice stuff there from Davideus. Got a important double at the end of the first half to even allow for a third round here for paiN. Now comes up with the goods in defense of that B bomb site. Snow getting that smoke out in time, and he's able to swing alongside him to stop them at the gates. So it's a lifeline. Another one for paiN. I don't even know if we can count the force buys as lifelines when they've seen so much success for both sides. But there may be a way back in just yet.
NQZ does get a very early op out over here as well. So if he's going to have, some massive impact, if he can put up what Symmetry did on Mirage, he's setting himself up for it. This is very different to the first round where he didn't have an op until like round number 9 or something. Sorry, the first half. Nade number 1. Nade number 2. Possibilities will be opened up over here. NQZ, a nice collateral, will not be able to get a kill on either one of them, but that weakness, it is going to be significant. Neutral flies overhead, and FUT will still be walking into an A bomb site, which is very split up in the defense. NQZ can still be smoked off over here, which would put Digit in basically a one and done position. That grenade that he has could be valuable. Don't forget this early damage. Digit will deploy that. The second he sees this Molotov coming over, Digit deploys a grenade. It should be able to get at least one kill. Krabany is down and out, and with Launex scaling up into the site, Digit's lost his life with just that. NQZ finds a close range Launex, but not before he finds the second kill. The bomb is planted. Demon alone. He's a man who you would trust in these positions, but it's just too much to deal with. NQZ keeps on putting himself in a great position. That round, very much credited to him.
Yeah, put a good defensive smoke down just as they were going for that execution. I wasn't sure how he'd make use of it, but able to jump on top of the car and also just keep eyes on. As soon as he gets flash, he can use it as coverage just to maintain some control. And even if he loses his teammate over at long, NQZ's able to get the trade, keep a handle on things, while the rest of the team are still applying pressure in from spawn. FUT weren't coming in with the best of buys, but them getting into a planting position, one that they can threaten and put some pressure onto paiN, isn't a bad start. We'll still go in with a scout into this round. No refunds on this investment here from Symmetry, and he'll fall victim to the NQZ AWP, but he does land his tag.
We go again.
Gravity's asking for a
just
boost.
in case.
This will be a pretty outrageous round to lose. One that paiN themselves almost won, actually, in that first half.
Yeah, if not for some ridiculous clutching shenanigans coming out from Jugas, could have been a very different looking first half. Oh, that's a good nade. Jugas will be feeling the pain off the back of it. And a second that doesn't do quite as well. It's all to try and set up Digit, though, in behind the smoke in case this is going to be a rush forward, but with FUT trying to play the patience game, they don't have any flashes, nothing of the sort.
Wait, what's Jugas doing there under the stairs? Having some private time. Not a lot really happening, really, for FUT in this. I mean, sitting behind smokes on short, seeing if they can catch paiN reaggressing, but they're sitting inside of bomb sites. They know that they should have a weaponry advantage.
Yeah, just trying to burn out some extra util and the like. Trying to get them antsy. 20 seconds. Digit back in defensible position. NQZ is in a great spot over here as well. Takes first contact. first blood. And not just once, but twice. Davideus, the only casualty to come through in this round. Very successful from paiN in their venture to build up economy.
Still a long road to travel. Still a journey as well for FUT to close out this series. Symmetry down to a scout on this buy. Imagine we'll hope to tag players on the cross and as well hope that his riflers can get some space. Actually going for a play towards long. The incendiary will break. And it's a very aggressive peek from NQZ, but they find that gap over to long. They find that entry. Launex breaking through and creating space. But there was a play into the lower tunnels as well. paiN have seeded one area and gained another. Jugas aggro play off to short, catches DGT. It's NQC's missed shot. It may come back to haunt him. He's missed two now. An attack that will slow him down. They know exactly where he is. A Molotov that lands at his feet. He'll catch another, but he has to rescind his position inside of the site. It's 3-on-3, and NQZ still finding production. In fact, a gap round the smoke. Back to 2-on-2, where finally FUT will have space to plant.
Smoke and a Molotov to interrupt Snow, so Bigazera might end up having to be the person to take first contact. A deep grenade will keep Jugas honest, but it really is a round that comes down to the Symmetry and Symmetry alone. Deep Flashbang will not be catching out either one of these players. They are fully focusing on short. They know where Snow is, and the refresh of the smoke gives them safe haven. Bigazera doubling back in too short. He's hoping that the attention that he took out on long will keep them occupied, and that might still be the case. But paiN are leaving themselves with very little time. No utility over here either to make do a difficult job. Nade pops open the smoke. That's what they used to come through it. 10-second timer's already come on. This is a battle of seconds, and they're running out of them. Snow is now down because Zera has to take himself off the bomb. He's barely going to have it. No, has to take himself off.
Terrorists win.
It's 11 for FUT in a labored round win, and it's time. That ends up being their greatest enemy.
Yeah, and if they had that HE and deployed it on the site, they actually could have maybe had additional time to clear out for that secondary player in the bomb site. But one had to jump on it, and yeah, Bigazera just simply not enough time by the time he finds that final kill. It is so damn close, but FUT find their break. They finally get into a site. They get into an after plant where they can play it 2-on-2. And paiN have just whittled too much time away from that clock. 2 more rounds are all that FUT need to close.
Jukas has had so many incredibly high impact rounds over here as well.
Yeah. Demon got a lot of those flashy big multi-kills, but Jugas was a consistent threat in those late rounds.
Speaking of threats, paiN are pulling out the double op. As they face down the barrel of elimination, they want to spend all their money before they go. They can't take it to the grave, but the question is, can they take it into the next round?
Yeah, I have to say as well, NQZ's been doing a good job of finding consistent openers, because they're hoping that that secondary ult could find as much success, but he'll miss out on his opening line. Seems to be the case here for paiN, that they simply cannot get all their stars active, or 2 of them at any given time, really.
paiN might be trying to funnel this into a B-side hit. That's where NQZ is lying. And remember, they've gotten confirmation of an op. They don't know it's Bigazera. Snow's in a very good position over here to find them the first advantage. They know there's a player trying to util out, but NQZ is burning. He's already used his smoke. He will at least get the 1 kill, but it's not enough. That second player in middle, that was Demon. He wins his duel, and now it's back to a 2 versus 2 as Davideus is going to be able to find that flank. No utility left for the T side. They won't be able to cross over safely with Bigu's op, keeping an eye line out on them. They know this is a risk, but Bigu now switches over to the M4. CTs are split, but FUT, they are singularly focusing down on tunnels. That's a right decision. Bigu will be allowed to creep out of the doors, but Davideus gets the kill, even with Symmetry watching out, and Symmetry makes up for it with 2 HP left. A big triple on NQZ's position shows him how it's done.
He missed his opening shot. He let his teammate die. He thought for sure Davideus was a dead man walking in that tunnel's peak, and still in the 1-on-2, Symmetry is able to somehow adjust. There is simply no way. How do they keep getting away with this nonsense? How does he survive on this 2 health? It is a
And for
FUT kind of
issues,
day.
man. Esports had a player going back to look for his spot. He doesn't realize it's going to be 2, so even when he gets that first kill, there's more where that came from. NQZ setting up for a flank, and paiN are on their last limbs. This is 1 round away from elimination, and with the shadow spotted, it is now 3 kills away from elimination at the hands of one of the lowest seeds in the entire tournament. paiN might not have been expected to be champions over here, but a playoff run was almost a necessity. To think that they might not even crack top 8. FUT are on the verge of collecting their second massive head of this tournament. And paiN are still split 1-1 across the map. It's effectively a 5-on-1. Because Zero only has a scout, and now he doesn't even have that. Snow has a very long time to think about. An incredibly long flight back home as well. FUT are on the verge. No, I mean, they've basically already done it, of taking this one away. Snow is fighting for scraps as FUT look to collapse on him. Jukas will put him down, a fitting end to a series of insanity, but FUT are the ones to persevere and triumph, taking down paiN, taking them out of the entire tournament.
A massive head, the biggest head that they've had to face, one that they've actually been able to beat in a